Okay, welcome to day 9. Now, we've got a lot of new stuff to learn again today. I know we're going at a pretty fast rate during this course, and I hope it's not too overwhelming. I hope actually you just feel proud of yourself for all the progress you're making, because I'm throwing a lot of information at you. We're doing a lot every day, so you should feel pleased with yourself. Okay, you're doing a good job. We're going to learn a new chord today. We're going to start off by learning a brand new chord. But to get there, we're going to start with our first chord. We're going to start with E minor. So get your fingers in position for E minor. Got that? Now all you're going to do is you're going to shift these two fingers down one string each. So the third finger will now be on 2nd fret on the G, and the second finger will now be on 2nd fret on the D. So it's very similar. It's a sort of similar shape to what we had for E minor, but now we're holding two different strings. There's one other big difference. You only play from the A string down. You don't play all of the strings with your right hand. You just play from A going down. So you're playing 5 strings for this chord. There's a reason for that is because this chord is called A sus2, which is a complicated name for an easy chord. But the A is the important bit, and we want to be playing an A string or the note of A in the root, in the base of the chord. It's the sort of fundamental note. So that's why we're not playing all of them, because we don't want to have an E at the low end. We want to have A emphasized in the low end. Okay, if none of that made any sense, don't worry, you'll understand it later. You don't need to understand it right now. Okay, the important thing is though, you pluck from the A string down, and you got 2 fingers, 2nd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G. Here's the chord box for it. Okay, so now just take a minute, make sure you can get that, have a little play around with it, think it through, practice it, pause the video, and then we're going to practice a little strumming pattern when you go back. You're back? Here we go. So we've got our A sus2 chord held down, and we're going to practice just strumming down strokes and then up strokes with a crotchet beat. Okay, so sorry, with a single note beat, also sometimes called crotchets. I didn't tell you that before. You didn't need to know. Don't worry. Okay, single notes. Just 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So strumming down and up. Be gentle on the upstroke. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I want you to try and do is emphasize the 1, 3, 4. So play the first beat a little bit louder than all the others. 3, 4. But play gently. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a bit of a push. Just a little bit. 2, 3, 4. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we're doing these sort of strumming things, it's very easy to think, okay, my pick has got to hit all 5 of these strings, so my arm is going to make this big movement. No, it doesn't. The movement doesn't come from up here on your shoulder. It's all coming from the wrist, and you're just letting the wrist fall and flick gently back up. You're sort of rotating your wrist joint. You're not moving your whole arm, okay? Just don't do it. You see like rock bands, they all go like crazy and all heavy. It's because they've learned how to play properly, and then when they're sort of passionately performing, then they start waving their arms around. There's all these big swings and all this cool looking stuff. But when you're learn how to do it properly, and then when you do your first gig, you can go as crazy as you want. Let's just do another minute just practicing this new chord, A sus2. Make sure you plug in only from the A string down strokes, up strokes, on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try and emphasize every time you hit beat number 1. 3, 4, 1. and give your hands a rest. Well done. Okay, so we have a quick rest now, and I think it's time for a quick game. So this is called Rhythm Maths. I'm going to show a rhythm on the screen. You've got to add up as quickly as you can. In fact, I'll give you 5 seconds. You've got to try and add up the value of all the beats in this maths equation. Here's the first one. Let's just do that together. So we'll look at it. You've got a 4-beat note plus a 2 plus a 2. The answer is 8 for that first one. This makes sense? Here you go. Here's the next one. You've got 5 seconds. Try and solve this. Go. Now, before we do any more playing, I just want to quickly recap how to read tab and what tab is. So, as we know, the tab it's like a picture, so a diagram, sorry, that represents your guitar strings, and then you put numbers on it to know which frets to play. So just to simplify it, let's imagine you've only got one string. Okay, that could be any one of your strings. Let's say it's the B string. Okay, so now let's say I'll put some numbers on: 2, 5, 7, 1, 0. So that would mean I would read it following along. So playing one of these notes at a time. I don't have to play them all at the same time. You're reading it left to right. So I know this is the B string. So I'll put a little B there. I know I've got to then play 2nd fret, then 5th fret, then 7th, then the 1st, and then the 0 just means play the string with no notes on it. Don't know if you can see this very well. So that's, so that's if you had one string. But you don't have one string, you have 6 strings. Because you've got 6 strings on your guitar, hopefully. 6, okay? So it would then look like that, which it's a bit more overwhelming because there's much more to look at, but it's just knowing the theory. And the tricky thing is just thinking, which string is which one? There's an easy way to remember it. If we think of which is the lowest string on your guitar, look at your guitar and say, which one of these is the lowest string? And remember, we're not talking about physical space, we're talking about sound. Which one sounds the lowest? Is it that one? Or is it that one? Or is that one there? On your tab, the lowest one, the one closest to the floor, is the lowest string. So that's your E, it's your low E. Next one along would be A. Yeah, you got this. Next one, the D string. Remember the names of all your strings, that's why we learned this early on. And then G, and B, and E. So now we can write a tune that sort of follows along in time as we read from left to right, writing notes on any strings that we want. And then it can get complicated because you can be jumping around strings and you can be jumping around frets all over the place really, but generally you don't. Generally, like, tunes are sort of fairly closely grouped together. You don't actually have to move around too much, really. I've just written out a ridiculous example there. You would never play that. It's not a tune. It would sound terrible. But you get the idea. It's like you just, what string am I playing? What fret is it? Then I move on to the next note, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. You just read it that way. Tab. It's a beautiful thing. We're now actually going to practice doing some tab exercises. Now, I've been a bit mean here. I haven't written down the string names on the side of the tab, but you know which one is which. I'm going to play through this together. I've lost my pick. No, there's my pick. Let's just look at that first box, that first bar. I'm going to figure out. So I'm going to work out that is the 4th string up from the bottom. Up from the bottom. I know it's all upside down. 1. That's the low. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. It says 0, so that means I know I don't have to put any fingers down on my left hand. And how many times I play it? There's 0, then there's another 0, so I play it 2 times. And then the next note says 2nd, or it says number 2. 2nd fret, it's on the same string. How many times do I play that 2? Play it 2 times because it's written 2 times in a row. So I'm going to play that first box for you, that first bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I scoot along now, I'm in box 2 now, the 2nd bar. It says 0 again, but it's on a different string this time. Which string's it on? I'm going to count from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's on the 5th string. And it says 0, and then it goes to 1. It goes 0, 0, 1, 1. Hopefully you've seen how this works. If you're not, go back and refresh your memory on how tab works, or just keep watching what I'm doing. Okay, so let's play that whole exercise together now. Nice and slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you'll notice is these are all notes you already know. You know that actually that's a G, then an A, then a B, then a C. There's still all those things. They haven't become something different just because it's written in numbers now. There's still A's, B's and C's. It's just a different way of looking at it. Alright, exercise 2. Let's do this. So I want you to have a good read through before we start. Okay? Always read. Always read first. Have a think. Okay, now this is all on one string. Which string is it? Top E string. Let's play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 3s. And I hope you're using the correct fingers like we discussed. Yeah, so 1st fret, 1st finger still, 3rd fret, 3rd finger. When we're in this position, that's what I want you to do. Okay, I know yesterday we broke the rules a little bit for Smoke on the Water, but that was yesterday. Today we're back on proper learning. Okay, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. This now we're getting a little bit more tricky. Why is this one more tricky? So if you're looking at first bar, you're starting on the B string, and then you go into the G, and then you back up the B. So switching strings is quite confusing when you're trying to play smoothly and continuously. But you've got to practice doing it. So let's get our first notes ready. 3rd fret on the B string. That's those first 2 3s. And then we've got 2 open G strings. That sounded really dodgy. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's quite tricky, that one. Have a note. Let's play it together again after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, if you want to play that one again, then please just pause and have a go. It's quite tricky. And then we've got one more to do. So exercise 4. Now have a good read of this one. This one is quite tricky. So I'm looking at the floor because my notes are on the floor. Yours are going to be on the screen. Sorry, it might look weird when I'm always looking at the floor here. It's tricky because you're jumping from the top E down to the G, and then you're switching back up to the B. So your right hand has got a lot to think about, and you've got a lot of notes to hold in your left hand. It's a tough one. What can I say? Just have a good read of it. Anticipation will help you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go slower. Let's go a bit slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get ready, G. Let's practice that one more time. I can tell you're starting to enjoy that one now. 1, 2, 3, 4. there you go. So that was your tab reading. That's pretty tricky. If you want to sort of go back and do that all again, might be a good idea. If you want to just, we're going to be practicing some more tomorrow and the next days as well though, so don't worry if it's not 100% perfect right now. Nothing is ever going to be 100% perfect, by the way, so don't beat yourself up. Just do your best. Keep doing your best. What's next? Right, to finish off, I want to recap Smoke on the Water. So there it is. This is how we played yesterday. So remember, our hand is sort of shifting position. But just because we now left this sort of safe haven that we've been playing in this area of the guitar up here, and we're now sort of venturing up the fretboard, it doesn't mean you need to panic, all right? It doesn't mean you say, oh no, my hand's out of position, I don't know what frets are what. Put your first finger hovering over that 3rd fret and leave it there as much as you can, okay? So put your thumb sort of where it's comfortable at the back for your first finger to be hovering over the 3rd fret. And that's the position you're going to stay in, okay? Apart from when you do this very slight shift to get to 6 and then 5 again in the 2nd bar. Let's try and play this together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3rd finger. One more time together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's something to think about. Way back, I think on the very first lesson, we realised that all the strings work in the same way. Go that way, they go up in sound, they go that way, they go down in sound. Let's try just using this riff now and taking it off the E string. Let's just play it on another string. Let's try playing it on the top E. Let's see if you, so same frets, same tune, just on a different string. Let's see if it works. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can tell that some of you at home are tempted to play all of this with one finger, okay? Don't let yourself down like that, all right? You can do this big stretch, this stretch from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret, okay? And you're just doing this. The only time you're going to play 2 different frets with the same finger is when you do that 6, 5, which is tricky because it happens quickly. But apart from that, you're sticking to this nice spread out position with your 1st and 3rd fingers. Let's try on another string. Let's pick a string. Let's do it on the B. Same thing, but now we're playing all the notes on the B string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously we're playing slowly now because we're just getting used to it, but when you get better and you're more confident, you can play like this. But you don't need to get there in a rush, all right? It's no race. It's not just take your time. Let's do it on one more string. Let's play it on the D. So elephants and donkeys. Make sure you do nice rest strokes. Very important. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done for another good day. If you've got any problems with anything, please send me an email or leave a message in the comment section here and I'll get back to you. If not, I'll see you tomorrow.